exciting night for the Midnight Broadcasting Network. I'm Alexander Ned, joined in the booth with a 4-person team tonight, Will and T, and also AJ. Guys, it's an exciting night here, not just for racing, but also an exciting anniversary, the first year anniversary of the Midnight Broadcasting Network. I cannot believe we've been doing this for 365 days.
Yes, Alex, it's been a rough ride for 365.
Starting to come back together though, and we still got this week and next week before the playoff race, until the playoffs start here. But I think there's been a lot of good racing that I've seen so far this season. I think we're going to see a lot more throughout the rest of the season, and next season I imagine is going to be even better.
Do want to dive into the points here in just a sec, but I do want to welcome AJ, our guest commentator here today. AJ, thank you so much for allowing us to be graced with your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Magic Mile, guys, we're at New Hampshire Motor Speedway tonight, and when we think about exciting racetracks, New Hampshire, it might not be the top of the board, but right now, as of late, New Hampshire, especially in this game, is a lot more exciting than it was back on NASCAR Heat 3.
Yeah, it sure is, Alex. As long as you back it up a little bit, as we've seen on a lot of these tracks, you can really get that thing to rotate here on Heat 4 and get a good run off. It's really good for racing. You're going to see 2-3 wide at sometimes, but it's basically whoever can get to that gas pedal first who's going to dominate this race.
T, what do you think are some of the key points in having success here at New Hampshire, especially on NASCAR Heat 4 with the addition of tire wear now?
Well, you're going to see a lot of it tonight, as you do on most tracks, especially when you have anything other than one times wear on. They also have damage on tonight, but I also believe that after talking with a couple of the guys earlier in the day, honestly, from what I've heard, most of these guys are going to be able to not have to pit in the first couple stages. We're looking at probably one green flag pit stop. Assuming we go green throughout the third stage, we'll have one green flag pit stop. But there's a lot of room on this track. It gets racy in the corners and off exit. It should be pretty entertaining looking at the roster for tonight.
I want to congratulate Fluffy on his 6th pole of the season, and leads all drivers tonight with a Glorified Pole Award from the Midnight Broadcasting Network. We're now on track with our virtual car. I am driving the Kevin Harvick machine. If you guys remember this back in the Cup Series in 2019, New Hampshire went down to a one-race schedule. They lost the date to Las Vegas, who had the addition of the first race of the playoff. But we saw an exciting race with Denny Hamlin trying to nose his way to Kevin Harvick there in the closing laps. Kevin Harvick able to get it done on that last turn and take that 4-car to victory lane here. Fluffy has been dominant, but that has not always translated to race wins for that 17 car. What does that team need to do in order to get focused for the playoffs?
Well, after commentating last night's Xfinity race, he ran away with it from lap 1 to the final lap. There might have been one race for the lead at the end of the second stage, but I think that momentum carries over tonight. He's comfortable with what he's got in his car tonight. It'll be hard to keep up with him, but we'll see. We've seen strategy and other cars kind of ruin his race from time to time, but if he can stay out front, stay clean, he's going to be a hard one to keep up with.
AJ, you raced on the racetrack with these guys numerous times here. What's it like, and what's the headspace that you have yourself before beginning a race such as New Hampshire?
New Hampshire is one of those tracks that really, it's kind of like the opposite of any other track. You feel tight when you're actually loose in a way, and the long runs are killers at these flat tracks like this. Like coming off the 2 and off the 4, you're going to really see these guys kind of like fishtail and stuff and all kinds of stuff. So we had a race here earlier in the year, and it was pretty good. Like you guys mentioned, New Hampshire has actually turned into one of the more racier tracks, short tracks in the game. It's pretty exciting.
you know, there's no banking here to keep the car kind of in the racetrack that we usually have on the Monster Energy Cup Series circuit. So a person who's able to set up the race car for success here is going to have to do exactly what, Will?
To be honest with you, they're just going to have, no matter how you set your car up, you're definitely going to try to take the pressures down a little bit. Get a little more grip, but actually read the temperatures in your tires, try to even them out. It's going to make them last longer, but you're just going to have to baby it from lap one. Really don't want to slide the tires getting in, and don't want to, you know, shake the tires coming off. It's just going to be a race of patience. Whoever can make that thing last the longest is who's going to prevail here. Fluffy's been really fast. Another, like you said, six pole of the year. That's pretty much incredible with the talent that we have in this series here. But not being working at a longer run car, last night he was able to do it. Looking forward to that 17 tonight to see if he can stretch it out for those long runs.
Let's take a look at our quick race settings for tonight's Granite State 301 at New Hampshire. Again, as always, these guys are on custom race setups. You will see these guys attack the racetrack all night long. It'll be 50%. Damage will be on. Times where tire wear and fuel consumption will be at times to the normal rate. I do believe flags will also be on, but there is the addition of manual cautions. That is, in case an incident on the racetrack does happen that does not trigger the in-game yellow, a call will come from the tower, or basically the in-game people that are doing the party chat, in order to race back to the line, and you will keep your position there once you reach across the start-finish line, and will be placed under a manual yellow. Stages, again, 3, and we just got the quick qualifying setup. We just were told that Fluffy was able to get the win. Now let's go to points real quick before we do get this race started. I do want to say, with the addition and the great finish we saw last week at Darlington, guys, my goodness, that still takes my breath away, with Bear able to edge out ahead from the 43 car, who had not been there the entire night. Both Mike and C. Workman were able to lock themselves in to the playoffs. So we now have 6 cars that we know will be battling for a championship here on the Midnight Broadcasting Network. They are Jobs in the 24 car, Bear in the 95, Fluffy obviously in the 17 car, Slade in the 21, and then the addition of the 3 of C. Workman and Mike RPM have now entered their name for a shot at the championship. Just sitting outside, but still within the playoff picture, is the 1 car of DWH, BC Racer Kid, who's been having a resurgence as of late, Diesel in the 22, and then Max Boost rounds out that last spot in the top 10. Just outside the playoff cutoff line is Sloppy Joe, the Daytona 500 champion, in 11th. Jay Hyper in the 14. You have Voltage in the 19, and then JRM Keffer in the 14th. And then those guys, I believe, are mathematically ineligible to be able to get into, I think, with it's go time now. So J-Mon, Celtics fan, Big D Destroyer, those are 15th through 16th and 17th. Marcus E-Dub, Galen, and New World Order 125, they are all sitting. That is your top 20 in points. I believe, did we get the invite yet? No, we have not.
Yet. I do want to mention real quick before we get started here. I know, Alex, you're doing the broadcast, so don't worry about it, but we do have 3 separate links for POVs. I got Keffer's up right now, so if somebody wants to grab J-Mon's and if somebody wants to grab C. Workman's, if you guys want to. I just got an invite.
I did as well. That tells me we are just moments away from going green. Guys, last minute thoughts before we get the green flag?
Let's pick some winners.
Hey, send me an invite. Send me an invite back to the race.
I
hadn't started my game. Yeah, but go ahead. What's your picks, Alex?
I'd like to see that 17 car get it done. I know he's been so close, but he's just had bad luck. But with the addition of the Xfinity race earlier this week and his dominance there, I think that 17 car is going to be tough to beat.
AJ, you get an invite?
Yeah.
All right. Will, did you get my invite?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. We had on a mission race earlier this year that the 19 of Voltage and the 22 of Diesel really stuck the show up. They both got pretty good cars. I'm gonna have to pick my main horse in this race is gonna be Diesel. Picked him last week. He let me down, crushed me. He was good there at the end with 5 to go. Just didn't have enough aggression in his blood to make it happen as everybody else did. But this week I'm gonna still stick with the 22. Hope that he can get it done here.
Field
AJ,
working its way on the back stretch.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Who you got for tonight?
We'll have to make it quick here.
You,
already got some damage. Sorry, don't want to break this, but looks like a couple of cars, a couple of competitors actually on pit road. See Workman and Max Boost already on pit road. Damage on both of those machines that would tell me that something happened just prior to us joining the room, and it looks like we will actually not go green. In fact, we might consider this as a green and yellow type situation where if you're familiar actually with NASCAR, you can start a race under green and yellow conditions. That means green flag laps will start counting while the yellow flag officially is still out. It looks like something gave those guys damage, and the team is going to allow, or NASCAR is going to allow those teams to pit and fix that. Rare, very rare. I don't think that's actually ever happened in real NASCAR. In fact, I go back to a time back in 2002 where at Talladega with Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin, they were starting on the front row. Something broke while Mark Martin was trying to clean off his tires, and he wiped out the 48 car under the pace laps, and NASCAR did not allow those teams to fix it, so they both started on the back. It looks like the green flag is actually out this time, and the 17 car is going to get an early jump on the rest of the field, and we are green at the Magic Mile.
Well, AJ, real quick, now that we are green, I thought we were going to go another lap there. Who's your pick for tonight, man?
I don't think you can go wrong with taking the 95. I don't think you can. I'm going to take Bear.
He has been good every race that I've seen, that I've been in the booth or have watched this season. Fluffy, another guy, as I mentioned, every stream, or every race that he's in, it's almost impossible to pick against him. But we will see. I'm going to go with Fluffy.
All right, your pick wouldn't be so bad right now. He continues to stretch out that early lead by a good half a second in front of the 22 and the 3 car. A little bit of contact you see between the 48 as you ride along with smoke in that 2 car. The 48 car will work its way to the inside. And now single file most of the field as Fluffy takes an early lead here at the Magic Mile.
Yeah, it looks like that 95 car gets off that corner really good, but getting in, it looks like he's pushing up. You want to change the pick there, AJ, before we get too deep in this thing, or you going to ride out with it?
I know it'll happen in the last 40 laps, so I'm not going to change my pick.
Well, what are you feeling out right now? Because it's early in the race. Your setup is brand new. Are you just trying to get the feel for the racetrack, or do you set up your car for the long haul?
I think you're setting it up for the long haul, but either way, I mean, I know some people believe in it, some people don't. Offline conditions, for me personally, feel different than they do when you get online to the track. So I imagine a lot of these guys probably hooked up at some point throughout the day and ran a few laps around here online just to see what the car would feel like. But for the guys that didn't get the chance to do that, they might have to adjust throughout the race.
I actually really want to say something. I tell you, another car is going to be really strong today. This is a track that fits Max Boost style of racing. Don't be surprised if he has a chance to win this thing.
Yeah, that 48 always does good at some of these odder configured tracks. Can't count him out. He's been running really, really strong after his win. He actually wiped out complete every series in the Watkins Glen this year for midnight. So yeah, he does good at these odd tracks. Keep your eye on it, 48.
Did he miss last week or did he lag out? I don't remember.
No, last week, I believe he ran fairly well. He was up front pretty much the whole night. there was just a different level of aggression there at the end, and we had a hell of a finish. So
that was fun last week.
Top 5.
48 car is going to move himself up to 4th, but we got a battle for the lead right now. Here comes Steve Workman taking a look underneath the 17 car. Chevy versus Ford, as Workman using the inside of the racetrack to his advantage and unable to clear the 17 car. Actually, yes, Workman to the front after that early damage on that 3 car.
Power move.
That's a pretty big statement coming from the 3 camp. Somebody should have picked him.
Well, we'll see how he goes here. I mean, he drove it in deep, and this is one of the tracks you can roll the apron on this track, you know, through the center of the corner if you want to, which obviously it worked out for him to be able to clear the 17 the last lap, but we'll see what he has here for the long run. He is pretty good at most of these tracks, and he does pretty well most races I've seen, so yeah, maybe he is somebody, a sleeper pick that isn't a sleeper already, as we're only like 10, 11 laps in.
Well, that 48's already worked his way up to 3rd place as he's back on the 22. See if these guys can hook up and run these front 2 runners down.
Guys, when I think about New Hampshire, I don't think about passing as much as I would think at any other racetrack, and that's just because it is a flat surface. You really don't have that banking to kind of guide the car and let the car roll into the corner, as you were mentioning there earlier, T. So to set up a pass, it takes some work from your race car and you to make sure that you are in position to capitalize and complete that pass on another guy.
Absolutely. While we got a second here, Alex, check your phone. I sent you a link. I'm not able to post it. You might be able to, since you are the YouTube. You're the one controlling the YouTube right now. It's for Keffer's daughter's basketball team program. If you can put that in the chat for the race, if it'll let you. I tried to, it wouldn't let me. So.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I'll see if I can. But go ahead there.
But what I was going to say is we also have a championship series. It's not too late to enter. We're doing it on Thursday nights. We're going to have 2 more races this Thursday, and then next week we're going to follow it up with a Miami race, 100% in the trucks. No, Xfinity cars, correct? Xfinity.
Yeah.
That might be dumb saying. I can't remember. But anyway, you can donate $5 and you can join in on the fun. We've already had raised around $200. I think the goal is around $1,500 or so. So if you guys got a little extra money laying around, you know you like to help out our guys right here in the community, donate $5, you come race with us, donate $1. Whatever you can afford, we greatly appreciate it.
It's fun racing. There's nothing crazy about it. You know, we're just having fun. I believe we still putting up the somebody's putting up the $50 PSN, whoever wins the overall points.
I think so. I'll help with that. I ain't heard about that, but I'll throw in on what we have to.
I thought that's what I had originally heard, but regardless, it's for a good cause. Any of it helps, and it's just, you know, fun racing.
That 3 car stretching his legs out a little bit. Got about 2 cars on the 17. That 48's actually got to catch back up to him. He's about 4 cars off the back of that 17. 22 car looks like he's fell back, still in the top 5 though.
Yeah, one person that has not been able to make his way through traffic. Oh, contact in the wall. 1 car hard on the front stretch. The 11 of Celtics fan.
The 8 of Sloppy.
No yellow flag. And the 11 was still sitting sideways on the front stretch. Man, I'm telling you,
damage.
if I think about bad luck early in a race, unfortunately, the 11 car has had that synonymous attribute to him.
We got a pass for the lead. The 17 goes around the 3 car. Looks to be falling off a little bit. But yeah, picking up on the Celtics fan, he's actually one of our OGs, if you will, here at Midnight. Followed his way up through the developmental truck series, through Xfinity, and has been solid in the Cup Series since last year. He got his first win at Richmond, which was one of his first races in Cup. Kind of been caught up in a lot of things since then, but yeah, he is one of the originals around here.
He's one of those guys that's looking to try and turn around his season right now, but it's not going to happen at least right this moment with an early incident on the front stretch. But as you said, we do have time to go. Now, I was unable, as per usual NASCAR Heat 4 issues, we were unable to know exactly how many laps are in stage 1 and stage 2.
No, I got you. We once leader crosses the line, we are at 16 laps to go here in the first stage.
So that would tell me, I believe these guys perhaps could make it without pitting.
I know a lot of these guys I was talking to earlier, like I had mentioned earlier today, they're probably not going to have to pit in the first stage. Maybe some of these guys that didn't get a lot of practice in might pit towards the end of the stage. We'll see. But these guys should be able to make it the whole way through the first 2 stages. I don't think you'll see the 17 pit. I don't think you'll see the 1 pit. I don't think you're going to see the 88 pit. I honestly believe most of these guys are going to be able to make it. They're going to be fighting the cars at the end of these runs, but that 3 car took that dominant lead, and we see he fell off here significantly.
In the fence with the 17 car out of turn 4. In fact, he's now fallen back into the clutches of the 48 car. And Max now giving chase to the 17 car. Almost laid the bumper right there, letting him know he is there. A battle for the lead. Less than 20 to go in stage 1. Rare mistake out of the 17 car. Handling definitely going to be an issue this late in the race. Or, excuse me, at least this late in the stage. Especially on times 2 wear. And we don't often talk about it, but New Hampshire is one of those places kind of like Martinsville and ISM as far as flat banking, where you can't abuse that right front.
And Gateway.
All those tracks where you have the term melting a bead at the center of the tire, that makes a connection with the brake rotor that can cause a failure and cause that car to go straight into the wall. And we've had some hard hits because of that here at New Hampshire.
AJ, what are you seeing? You know, I don't know if you're scrolling through the field here and whatnot. You see anything interesting out here on the track?
The 17 wall. In the wall again. I don't know if that's lag or if that's just the game, but now a lead change because of it. The 48 car to the point. And that was a significant enough hit that I believe there might be damage on the 17 car because of that.
Yeah, I hate I missed that. I was looking back in the pack, see if we got some other cars making way through the front here. Pretty much spread out throughout the whole track here.
Got a battle going between J-Mons and Big D, I believe, back here, and probably like 8th, I think. They're side by side.
Let's see where one Hendrick car is doing great so far, but his teammate and your championship leader right now, Jobs, again in the back of the pack. And this is beginning to become somewhat of an issue, at least early in the race there, guys, where the 24 car really hasn't been a factor inside the top 10 early in this race. Is that cause for concern?
Absolutely. We're going to be coming to 10 to go here in the first stage. And I mean, there's a couple of little clusters back there, but now at 48, now that he is out front, it tells me he's got a long run car and it is hooked up.
Well, if you remember correctly, Alex, the 24 car had a dismal race last week and actually fought his way back up in the top 5. And I do believe he got a pretty good finish. He was in a ton of wrecks early on and actually come back. So I'm not too worried about that 24 yet.
But you know, Darlington, with that being a different racetrack, also saw the wrath of the yellow flag. That's something I just don't think is going to happen here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I think he'll be around in the long run. He is our points leader for a reason.
Fluffy has fallen back now to 3rd. And Bear has moved himself up to the 2nd position.
I'm telling you, I was not expecting this at all, but it is nice to see some guys that, you know, we didn't originally talk about, you know, start making moves. I know.
Got a car in the wall and upside down out of turn 4. Big hit. Don't know who that was. That's Justin Mons in the 9. Contact with the 4 car BC Racer Kid. You see Jobs with damage. And the yellow flag is out with less than 8 to go in stage 1. I think the 12 car got damaged as well.
Yeah, the 12 and the 9 was running really close with each other. I seen the 9 car push up in the corner really, really hard. He might have got a heck of a run off. And, yeah, I hate I missed what happened though. But yeah, those 3 cars.
That was outside of our line of sight as far as the broadcast here, but a lot of those guys in the back of the pack got damaged. You see the 9 car limping. 4 car we saw in the fence. The 24 car with damage as well.
The 1 car
and the 12, major front end damage on that car.
We get ready to go back green here. I'm telling you, one person that's back there that definitely needs to get some points that could possibly lock himself in tonight. DWH, I believe, can lock himself into the playoffs in that 7th position. First car that is not locked in yet into the playoffs. He's going to want to get some stage points here, I imagine.
Ooh, 95 car dove into the corner really, really hard. Almost worked the 3 car up the racetrack right there. The 22 with Diesel also having an issue in turn 2, but they all make it through. And Max Boost in the 48 cars, we ride along from the Goodyear blimp high above, leads, and I believe we have just 4 laps to go.
95 hard in the outside wall.
Oh,
sure.
Checked up to 17.
See Jobs in around, shuffling in the back of the pack.
I think I'm going to change my pick, Will. I think I'm going to change that.
Okay. Who you going with, the 48?
Oh, my. He's freaking amazing.
Well, we have a late race caution. You cannot count out that 3. We know he has short run speed, but yes, a long run 48 car is hard to pick against at this point as we come to 2 to go in the first stage.
Pit road is closed. You see, car on the wall in front stretch. Don't know who that was. We'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead, though, as we stay under green. See Workman trying to get a nose up under the 48 car. 2 bow ties battling it out. Less than a mile and a half left in stage 1.
We got a couple of newcomers freshly into the top 10, trying to work their way to the top 5. That 88 of Jason Keffer and that 19 of Boltridge. Look like they're trying to turn it on here late. Stage 1. How many laps we got left in stage 1?
1 lap to go. Here comes Steve Workman taking a look underneath. Using below. Oh, he got loose.
Hard on that.
Whoa.
Woo, he about lost
that
it.
all but
Good
gave the 48
car.
car the stage win. One final set of corners. And Max Boost 27 looks to set sail, and he will earn a green and white checker flag for his efforts. Winning stage 1 is the 48 car as we fall under caution for the 2nd time here at the Magic Mile.
Think Fluffy's where he get?
Yeah.
Fluffy's not one to worry. He's pretty well sealed into the play. I mean, he is sealed into the playoffs, obviously. But that 3 car and that 48 car, man, they.
Not to mention,
and you know,
21 car
those were the 2 cars.
Stage 1.
I don't like to feed it to conspiracy theories, but those were the 2 cars that did go down pit road early. I'm just joking. I know.
I didn't even think about that.
The caliber of drivers here at Midnight Broadcasting Network, I'm sure they just fixed the damage that they sustained. So I don't want that to be a thing going forward. But it is pretty interesting to note that both the 48 and 3 car had an issue. They were able to overcome it to finish 1-2 in stage 1. Pit stops. Going to shuffle the running order here as we see.
The Bear did not pit.
Oof, he did not pit.
Or
nope,
they only had 4 laps on their tires, so that might not be such a bad strategy.
Yep.
Green flag is back out. Stage 2 underway here at New Hampshire.
We about to find out. 95 car pushes up the track. He don't quite get into the 3 car. Gives him enough room.
Riding along with 21 of Slade in this pack. As the time to get positions is now. You see a lot of these guys going below the apron. Keep in mind there is no out of bounds here. More of a guidance rule. That apron is for drivers. And you will see drivers use it as they are 3 wide. Look at the 19 of Voltage trying to attack.
Yeah, that 19's got a pretty good hot rod here. As I said, him and Diesel in 22 dominated the earlier season cup race for on a mission. So yeah, I'm looking for that 19 to make some noise, at least get up the top 5.
Ooh,
95 drives it off in there deep, barely gets in the quarter, 3 car, gets him a little love tap, lets him know he's back there.
One Chevy, one Toyota, one Ford. That's how they run. It's 95 cars. 3 workmen got up on the racetrack, traveled upstairs. And the 95 were looking, in the wall, right in front of the 17 car. Here comes Max Boost to capitalize.
Yeah, about that 3 car. Yeah, 3 cars happened to sit at 95 getting that wall because that 95 car was sure applying pressure to that.
But the 3 car just nicked the wall out of 4 too. That was short-lived. Flushing sister like, can you get me out of here? I just want to try and run a clean race and run these guys down.
We got Gaylord in the 13 making his first appearance in the top 5 tonight.
Going back here, man, these turns it's a hornet's nest, you know, going into these turns, especially back here in the back of the pack. At this point, I'm just trying to keep, you know, all the fenders on the car and trying not to hit somebody's bumper and get front end damage going into these turns.
Side by side, mid-pack, 24 car in the 8. Side by side. Slade has now fallen all the way outside of the top 5. You see Celtics fan. A lot of those guys that were involved, the only caution of the day that involved a crash, still have not been able to rebound there. That is the 11, the 12, the 1, and the 4. DC Racer Kid all the way back in last place.
He looks like he's just riding around. I'm following him right now. He's just riding around. I don't think he's too concerned with what's going on. Either that or his car's all bent out of shape. I don't know.
You guys have any predictions of how long until the 48 catches the 3?
Yeah, I think he's already set sail. I think he's going to catch him the next 3 to 4 laps.
Talk about some of these guys that we haven't had a chance to mention here. The 13, Galen, as you said, has made his way up inside, having a nice day inside the top 5. The 8 of Sloppy Joe as well, having a ho-hum day.
19 and 88, still flirting with the top 5 there.
Here's the pass for, I believe, 8th place. Sloppy Joe taking a look underneath the 9 of Justin Mons, and here comes Jobs in the 24 car with him. Field beginning to single file itself out, and again, stage 2, just like stage 1, should not see a green flag pit stop.
Hard in the outside wall.
Who was that?
I don't know if he got any help. The 9 car, J Mons. I don't know if he got any help, but he sure did bounce off there. I think all 4 tires come off that hot rod, come off the ground. So I had to strap his Hans device up. But as we say that, 48 don't got that much space in between that 3 car, right?
Yeah, let's go back up front. And the 48 car is there. Excuse me as I cycle through the entire field to get there. Oh, in the wall!
88!
88 and more! His teammate, all 3 Hendrick cars involved there. The 2 on the front stretch, and the yellow flag is out.
Yeah, I was about to say, if the flag didn't fly for that one, it ain't coming out for nothing.
Don't know what set the 88 car out of shape, but 3 of the 4 Hendrick cars involved in that crash, Justin Mons, Jobs, and the 88 car. You saw the 2 car Smoke also get nose damage after hitting the inside wall, and a lot of cars are torn up to bring out our 3rd caution of the day.
Yeah, and I want to mention Smoke Zemog. He's actually in the 2 cars. He's one of the younger guys that just joined Midnight. He's a default racer. Just moved to custom setups. Did really well in his time that he spent in the Xfinity Series. Really making way here in the Cup Series. Looking for good things to come out of that 2 car.
Tell you who caught a break, the Bear getting that caution right there.
He did,
yeah.
Probably able to fix some of that damage that he got from hitting the wall as the green flag is back out. And I believe we are halfway done with stage 2. Change on the lead during pit stops. The 48 car back out front. Workman, though, he's been able to show that short run speed isn't enough. Oh big move to the outside. Wow. Move. Here comes Workman, and Bear had to jump on the brakes. Workman clears the 48 car.
I'm telling you, man, that move out of the 8 car, it was lucky we didn't have another caution right there. As,
that was
those
aggressive.
guys did a hell of a job to not hit him.
Oh, the 17 and the 19 made contact.
Out of the 8 car again. It goes wide on the 13. We're probably going to have a wreck there. That was the 8 again.
We're on board with the 13 car. Him and Slade. It's a contact sport in the back of the pack. Oh, way wide. And outside of the groove, the 22 runs the 9 car wide. Here comes his teammate, the 12. 3 wide on the back stretch. Two Penske cars fighting for position in the 21 car, Penske affiliate. That's Slade. Trying to figure out what teammate do I try and push to the front.
I tell you what, so far into this race, there has been a lot of battling throughout the field, and it's been more exciting than I had originally anticipated.
Let's go back up front for a second. Oh, 22 Diesel off the pace on the backstretch. Looked like he just let out of it.
The wall again.
And the 17 car. You know, I'm not so sure I've not seen some lag spikes out of the 17 car. That's not the first time I've seen that car. So, what I would consider to be Wi-Fi connectivity issues.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that 19 car is my dark horse pick. He's starting to become my first pick. The 22 cars fell off and went to pit road or whatever, but I told you that 19 had a heck of a car.
His teammate Celtics fan has rebounded nicely as well. He's running inside the top 10. As we ride on board.
Yeah, I think that's 17. I think his car's a little loose. It does look a little laggy. I think he's hit the ball quite a few times, maybe crumped in that right side over there. I think he's just riding to the end to pit road where he can get that damage fixed. Still holding his own though. He's holding off the 8 and 95 and 11 car, but they look like they're getting impatient. They're about to line up 3 wide, see if they can't one of them pass him.
Workman up front, and how many laps to go do we have, T?
16 laps to go as he crosses the stripe right here.
48 car, the lone. Hendrick, decal that's been up front all day. His teammates have all found the inside or outside wall. Got to be a lonely feeling up front, but one that you fight for as he takes a look and almost a swipe to the inside of the 3.
Yeah, it's a lot more mixing it up than I thought would be earlier. Usually on these tracks, ain't a lot of passing, a lot of riding around, a lot of biding time, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. But it looks like these guys are mixing it up pretty good. There's been a couple altercations, nothing serious yet.
Well, we've seen this out of the 3 car before on restarts where he has a good car early, but as the run goes on, advantage to the 48 team.
Yeah, the 95 and the 17s finally caught the 19 and actually put the pass on him right now as he's falling off late. 8 car goes around him. 19 cars following back.
48's going to look underneath the 3, but he's not going to get it this time. But I bet here in about 2 laps, I mean, a 48's all over C Workman's bumper. I think we're going to see a passing in just a couple laps.
I mean, we can't say it enough, man. That 48 team's come on strong here late season. It's going to be hard to go against that 48 squad as long as it's, these crazy configured tracks. But he's been running pretty good on all tracks. But yeah, he's making some waves here.
I gotta say, late into the regular season here at midnight, this part of the schedule suits him perfectly, and it's truly shown. And hopefully, with these good runs, regardless of where he finishes today, whether it's first or wherever, it's something to build off. build off of when you go to a track that, say, he's not so comfortable with. It definitely would build up the motivation and the confidence to have good runs once we get ready to get into the playoffs.
Side by side for the lead out of turn 4. So the 48 car set up the pass. He was unable to complete it, but still, door to door as they enter 1. Now the 3 car uses the outside line. That seems to be his preferred line.
He's making him work for it, that's for sure.
He is.
AJ, you're sitting in that second position there, stalking the 3 car. What do you do to get the 3 car off his game and into the lead for yourself?
Sit there on his bumper, wait for him to make a mistake.
Thanks, AJ. AJ, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Alex was asking you, what do you do to apply pressure? What do you do if you're the 48 car sitting behind the seat?
I didn't even
To be honest, I think the 48 has a better car. So to be honest, honestly, I'm gonna race him how he raced me at the beginning of the stage. He was also aggressive about putting himself in the wall. So you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing back. Go for it.
I think I'm gonna let him look in the mirror and see nothing but white as I put that front end on him lap after lap and just wait for him to make a mistake. As we know, his tires run out a lot quicker than the 48s. He's got the long run car, so let him make himself bury himself.
And at what point,
a hell of a battle for the race, race.
Sure is. He ain't making it easy. He ain't giving it to him by no means.
but he did right there. 48 car set the 3 car wide just a tad, or the 3 car looked like he made a mistake. Entered too high in turn 3.
Oh,
now he's really high. Almost jumping the cushion right there if this were a dirt track.
almost looked like he was trying to do a bump and run right there.
48 car, back to the point. And that side by side, while terrific battling up front, allowed the 95 and the 17 car to make some noise. And it's not over yet as we have less than 10 to go in stage 2.
And I'd like to add, that's one of the things here at Midnight that we're going to be tightening down on for all drivers through Cup guys all the way down through the lower series is the aggression level. Bumping runs, that's one thing, but completely running over a guy and trashing his race just to get up to gain position is not going to be, we're not going to go for that anymore. So might want to tone it down a little bit. Don't want to end somebody's night because points will be took it off.
Taking a look at the back of the pack, you see Jobs give a position to the 1 car. Again, our points leader has not had the night indicative of a championship running team.
Here comes the 48.
His teammate, though, the 48 car, has had a stellar
finish.
That 95 looks to be coming alive here in the late stages. He's actually caught the 3 car and putting the pass on him right now. Oh, he gets into him. Sends him up to the racetrack.
Oh, he did. And he could have lost more. In fact, the 17 car now trying to take a look to the inside of the 3 as well. In fact, he'll complete the pass. That's 2 spots lost in 1 lap for the 3.
Yeah, I hate
Put
to
that in the memory bank.
Like that, as good as sure, because as good as he's been running, you hate to see that. It's definitely not the last lap.
Oh, we got a car on the wall, front stretch. Who was that?
Smokey. Sloppy Joe, once again.
No caution yet. Caution is out.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to him. It looks to be really, really loose as he's lost that.
That is the end of stage 2.
So the 48 car, through the misfortune of the 8, a Sloppy Joe around on the front stretch, will win stage 2.
We got a bunch of cars folded up over that incident as well. We've got the 20, at the 13 of Galen, the 9 of J. Mons, and 11 found himself again in that crash of Celtics fan.
Celtics ended up 6 out of all that, but I guess when the whole front stretch becomes a parking lot, you're not going to gain many positions through a caution.
In the front end of your car, look at these guys, the 13, the 9, the 11, all these guys
ain't much left.
Running the new Chevy Coupe edition.
They got the Miata front end put on there.
Those would definitely be on the damage clock if NASCAR Heat 4 had one. Green flag, the final stage, and a green flag pit stop expected for it. at the magic mile.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The 4-car looked like he just pulled out of the racing order there and just dropped back by himself. He might be trying some long run thing here, but I really hate that for the 4-car. I like to see it when he's up there mixing it up with everybody.
He's missed out on some valuable stage points, though, doing that in that strategy, and he's only in 10th. He's not safe. He's one of those guys on the outside looking in, and that is our defending series champion.
I tell you what, 75 laps left here in the final stage, the rest of the race. Like Alex had mentioned, we are going to see, if we don't have any cautions, which we haven't had a bunch, but we've had enough. And it was weird to see him so close to the end of these stages. You think, oh, everyone's, you know.
Oh, the 8-car doors, the 11-car sends him right up the wall again. And the 11-car keeps getting just pile drive.
Riding on board with the 2. It looked like he got out of the gas on the front stretch.
That 8-car's found himself in a bunch of different paint jobs tonight. Looking to see that 8-car calm it down a little bit and maybe put a little bit of extra wedge in that car every now and then.
As it looks like finally, Fluffy actually in second at this point. It looks like him and Max and C. Workman are going to run away.
Well, C. Workman there, I think they need to dial on that race car just a little bit more. He's been able to show short run speed, but as you mentioned there, toward the end of those short stages, and keep in mind, this is going to be the longest stage of the night. That coupled with the green flag pit stop, that 3-car doesn't show the speed it needs for the long run.
What do you think about how the actual NASCAR Cup guys, how they're starting to change the stages up a little bit to not have such a big stage 3? They're trying to even the stages out a little bit for the 2020 season. I think that's pretty cool.
I did see Daytona, well, it was going to be 65, 65, and 70.
Yes.
That's what I seen today. I like that. I seen they weren't going to do it for all the races, but for a few of them this year, I like it. A lot of, you know, the guys that consider themselves old school, they probably don't. But hey, NASCAR, just like every other sport, I had this conversation with a buddy earlier. It's moving with the times, man. They're trying to adapt to, you know, try to regrow the sport more than where it's at right now. And I like to see change. Change is good. It seems like they change a few things every year. You know, this year we're going to see Xfinity race at the Indy Road Course. I wish we could see the Cup cars go to the Indy Road Course because, I mean, I think after the Xfinity race, we will see that because the Brickyard really does not produce great racing. Usually,
there's actually 17 Cup guys that signed up for the Indy Road Course.
Matty D being one of them.
Yes.
You know he's good at them road courses.
Yes, that is exciting. But as you mentioned there's a lot of change on the horizon for NASCAR. 2020 being the last of what we know as this traditional schedule, and even that to see some changes. We changed the titles race from Homestead all the way.
The 22
car. Teammates, Penske Racing right there
hot.
through turn 1 and 2, and Diesel out of shape. But getting back to what I was saying there, 2021, the addition of the next generation of race car. We're going to see the next gen on the racetrack there. 2022, we're looking at a new engine, a hybrid engine for these cars as well. So a lot of change going to come for NASCAR. We're going through some growing pains. Not everybody's going to like it, but as you mentioned there, T, we've got to evolve. Every sport does evolve, and that's something I think we have to in order to see the sport continue to see success throughout the years.
It's just like league racing. It's just like, you know, in real life, as far as, you know, you're not going to please everybody. That's never going to happen. It don't matter what it is, unless it's just, you know, two people in a conversation, then maybe. But, you know, when you're talking about hundreds of thousands to millions of people, you know, interested in a sport. Oh, the 95 turned to 13.
Oh, big crash on the backstretch. Jobs is in it. Yellow flag,
Caution's out.
5th time of the day. And I was just going to mention how
DWH into the top 5.
these guys were starting to get into that point where handling might become an issue. And there it was on the backstretch. We've had trouble all over this racetrack tonight.
I'm so shocked. Like, I really expected to come up into the booth tonight and see cars get spread out. You've seen about the first 3 cars of the pack get kind of spread out. The rest of them, they're all right there. And, I mean, there's battling all over from 4th on back. And this has been one of the more wild league races I've seen at New Hampshire.
Yeah, here late, it's going to turn into a race of attrition. Whoever keeps the cleanest cars is definitely going to be faster. You got the 22 on the pole starting to bring his guys to the green flag.
He did not pit or elected to take 2 tires. One of the 2 as the green flag is back out. 48 car on the outside. He's been the most dominant car of the day, but unable to control that restart. The 22 works him up the racetrack 3 wide, and Justin Mons, the 9. Way out of shape on the backstretch.
Yeah, it's a couple of them.
I'll tell you what, as of now, if for some reason we get spread out a little bit to the point where we can run some laps, they are not within they will not make it to the end yet. So
a green flag pit stop is still in the mix.
Yep.
Look at that 88 car getting his way up into the top 5 as he's trying to come around at 17 car.
Sheldix is working his way up there as well.
He had damage before that last caution right there, and we were on board with that before that big wreck on the backstretch broke out. 19 voltage taking a look to the inside of the 48, and the 1 at DWH. First time we've talked about him in the top 5.
What the hell's happening back there?
I have no damn clue, man. It looks like somebody cut the roof off and just dropped these guys down there.
Ooh, contact between the 48 and the 19. Trading a little paint.
I'm super stoked to see that 19. Like, you know, he's kind of been hanging back there. But he's making some moves right now. We hadn't seen him, like, you know, up front, but he's throwing her in there right now, letting, you know, running these guys down, saying, hey, I don't have a bad car. I've been being patient. I'm done with that. And there's DWH right behind him.
Yeah,
side by side. He was unable to get off the corner exactly like he would have liked, though, right there, and he'll lose a position to the 17 car. DWH actually falls outside, and at the outside line seems to be the preferred groove around this racetrack right now.
Yeah, what I was saying, the 19 car, the 1 car, and the 88 car, they've been caught up with a lot of on-track altercations that wasn't exactly their fault this year. Looking for these guys to try to pull together and see if they can't come to the front here. Good to see good runs coming out of all 3 of those guys tonight.
Absolutely.
On board with the 19 car as he takes a look to the inside, now traveling behind the 17 car. Things have settled down at front, so much so that we've seen the 3 car get the biggest lead of the day under the green flag right now. The 48 and the 17 car has some work to do to get caught back up to them. All that battling for second.
We haven't talked too much about this 21 of Slade tonight as he's sitting here in 6th place, all over the bumper of 5th. It seems like we're seeing a couple cars that weren't too lively in the first 2 stages starting to come to life, and maybe that's just because the battling that was going on, but we'll see now that these guys are in a better position than what they were most of this race. Maybe they actually do have something that we had no idea about because we didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, a couple of those guys that got a little more patience than some of the other ones out there. They're not looking to make noise up towards the beginning of the race, but here towards the end, they let everybody shake themselves out and see what everybody's truly got.
Top 5 as they run. See Workman up front, 38 of Max Boost, and 19 of Voltage. Excuse me, the 17 of Fluffy in 3rd, 19 of Voltage in 4th. JRM Kepper in the 88 car in 5th.
Good to see him up there. I know he rode around most of the second half of the second stage, the damage riding there in the back. He's worked his way back up there. You know, as we all know, he's a patient driver. Told me earlier today that he does think that he has a good long-run car, and like I said, we're not out of a green flag pit stop if we go green, so we'll see what kind of long-run car he has if we go caution free.
And how many laps to go in the for the race? We were unable. Were you able to see when people pitted what a fuel window was?
We're looking at about anywhere between 40 and 45 laps. from what I've heard earlier today, I don't think you're going to see anyone stretch it past 45.
We got the 8 coming up on hard over 24 and 95 right behind him. If you want to keep your eye on that, that looks like an accident waiting to happen. As those guys have already been aggressive with each other one time today.
Man, a couple of Fords not having a good night at all. We've already documented DC Racer Kid just haven't shown the speed at all. But 2 Penske cars running in dead last, the 22 and the 12. Diesel, who restarted first before that last caution. Obviously, the handling has gone away on that car. He's just trying to bide his time to get inside the pit window. And the 12 car was by himself as well.
The 8 car goes way up the track there. He keeps it off the 24 car. Those guys are racing their hearts out.
I tell you what, the 88-19 just had a good battle. Keffer and Voltage, I keep calling them Bags, but it's hard not to do. But they're battling it out back here for 5th place. And they got the 12 involved too. Or that's the 21, a Slade, sorry.
Up front, though, things are getting tighter. As the 48 and the 17 car, they've been able to run the 3C workman down. Oh!
8 car got turned coming off the border again. I don't know if the 95 got into him, but like I said, him, the 95 and the 24 looks it up pretty good.
And Daytona 500 champion. Trouble again for the 8 car. Sloppy Joe YouTube. And this is at the point of the race where you cannot afford to have a mistake. Back up front. If I can get there. Momentarily. There we go. 17 car traveling with the 48 and the 3. Max boost. You cannot talk enough about the speed and consistency seen out of that 48 team today.
Last person that wants a late race caution is that 48 because we know how fast the 3 car is on such a short run. So he's wanting this thing to go green.
Yeah, don't forget about the short run speed coming out of the 17 car as well. He just tapped the wall a few times. Maybe he's got that damage situated now as he's back solid in the top 5. They've actually separated their. Oh, the 88 car gets sent wide into the wall.
He does, and Celtics fan also upstairs as well. Contact between the 13 and the 88. 95 a bear to the inside. And this is all happening from 4th place on back.
95 uses the ride beside the 13 deep into the corner. They tap coming off.
It looked like 13 car kind of ran him down the racetrack a little bit right there. And 95
look
back.
They're battling hard.
Look who oh, Fluffy gets way loose off too. I was just getting ready to say, look who's coming up on these top 2 runners right now.
He did. He lost a little bit of time.
That cap.
Well, I'm telling you, this battle doesn't look like it's over between the 19 and the 13. This is the time where, as a producer, I would say, give me a 2-box so we can show you both battles on the racetrack. This battle for 4th place on back between Slade and everybody, and then the battle up front between the 3 and the 48.
AJ, I'm going to ask you a question here. Knowing that the caution has come out at unpredictable times in this race so far.
Oh, got a pass for the lead. Sorry, there, didn't mean to cut you off, but the 48 car to the inside. And he will take the point.
But how does this change, you know, a lot of these guys know that they can go 40, 45 laps, you know, on a tank, and considering that you're looking at about close to 10 laps short on fuel, where at in the field do you, I mean, who's going to pit first if we go green from here on out?
To be honest, if you short pit it, probably not a good idea. I'd probably want to be in that second band of pit stops for tonight, so I'd probably want to pit with like a little over about 20 to go, maybe. I wouldn't want to pit with 10 to go. I'd probably want to pit around 20 to 18 to go, because you're gonna have those early people that try to cut it like really, really short, gain all that time. But you want to have some tires left in the last 10 laps.
Now that, and if you do short pit and the caution does come out, here you're probably going to go close to 2 laps down if you take 4 tires.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of suspect to do that short pit, knowing how these guys have been mixing it up, and we've had these pop-up cautions in the late stages. I don't know. I'm gonna go with AJ. That's the typical way you want to do it. Maybe split it in half from the time we got now, just to make sure you got a good green set of tires and not a lot of fuel, make the car a little faster. But then you're taking a chance, that's for sure.
And that's what makes league racing so fun, because you're not only your own driver, but you're your own crew chief and essentially your pit crew deciding on what to put on your car right there. Do we see any 2-tire pit stops?
At this track, I don't know. That's tough to tell. I don't think so, but I will say we are into the point of the last 42 laps that they could pit now and make it the rest of the way on gas. Some of these guys, I don't know if all of them, but I know a lot of them, they can make it the rest of the way. But knowing how short the first 2 stages were and seeing how some of these cars were handling at the end of the long runs that we had in the first 2 stages, I really don't think that you're taking 2. If anything, you're taking 4 and just enough fuel to get to the end and be done with it.
I think one of the top 3 is going to start the pit stop. He's going to make the decision for the other 2. Maybe if you're in the back of the pack, you want to go ahead and dive off, see if you can't figure something out, get yourself some field position.
I'm telling you what, man, there is, from Galen and the 13 on back, there is a cluster of cars, man. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I did not expect this whatsoever. We might see another caution. I'd like to see a cycle of green flag pit stops, even though it's hard to keep track of who's where. Ooh, the 17 makes a pass on the 3 for 2nd place.
Well, this is the time where we've seen the 3 car begin to really fall off and show a lack of speed to the other 2 competitors that have been there all night, the 17 and the 48 car. If you are Steve Workman, though, maybe you decide to go down pit road, use those fresh tires to your advantage, and then through the cycle of green flag pit stops, hope for a caution after? Is that on your mind?
It's not. No, it's not. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying after the
and about to come out, it looked like
after the cycle of green flag pit stops. But that's the risk, is that the caution could come out beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think we're going with the cautions tonight, to be honest with you, Alex. Like I said, it's kind of suspect. I wouldn't know what to do right now. I'd be thinking about that for sure.
I think, by the looks of it, it looks like Bags might be the first one pit. He's getting really loose off 4. Really loose.
22 car comes down.
Oh, we know that he was not happy with his car at all. He had stayed out, or at least put 2 tires on that car, and it did not work out for him at all. So it does not surprise me that the 22 car Diesel would be the first one to hit pit road.
Pit so early, you think he'll still be able to make it? He'll be able to make no fuel, but I don't know if his tires will still be up under him by the end of the race.
He's going to have to make a massive tire pressure adjustment or wedge something to get it to the end, and even then, he's going to lose a bunch of time. You know, once these guys come down, well, he's going to get some time, but he's not going to get his lap back
12 car on pit road. And we haven't talked about getting on the pit road. This is a unique pit stop, or at least pit road, in the fact that it's 35 miles an hour. You will have to go to a grueling pace from 100 and about 20 that these guys are on the racetrack. But that orange cone sticks out a little bit and can catch you off guard.
Yeah, I know last night I mentioned during the broadcast that Darlington, in my opinion, was the hardest pit road to get into on this game. This one is right up there. It is equally as hard because you got cars behind you running that low line. It's just tough. The only way it's somewhat simple to get down. I wouldn't even call it simple if you're all by yourself. But being by yourself with no one around you is less stressful than, you know, say Keffer dips down right here or something and he's got 4 cars right on his bumper and you get tagged going in, you get a speeding penalty, your race is ruined.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Fluffy's catching the 48.
He does look like he has cut that distance down to about
we got
half
two
a
more
second.
Takers. Jobs down pit road.
Green flag pit stops are happening.
Voltage down pit road.
These guys are just killing themselves.
Bear down pit road.
Fluffy and Saab are just staying out long. They're gonna have so much pressure power.
Oh, workman!
Comes
Wow!
Oh, he gets scared around.
He got a late entry by the 3 car, almost collecting the
Damage on the
21.
rear end. He has damage on the rear end. The 3 car does. I don't know about Slade, but he might have gotten some damage.
And did that give the 3 car a pit road speeding penalty from being rear-ended while entering pit road?
As the 48 and the 17 are coming down, they're woven them up. They're diving off the pit road. The 21 car is going to follow them in as well. Looks like the 88 car is going to pick up the lead, followed by the 1 car and the 13 now as the lead.
I believe, yeah, I was going to say, I believe Workman did not get a penalty there.
That is good. A stroke of good luck as the leaders are in. 4 tires, cynical fuel. These are the most dominant cars of the day. The 48 car winner of stage 1 and stage 2. 17 a Fluffy, your pole setter. Both these
Slade's
guys.
got front end damage.
Yeah, he hit hard.
He hit him going on the pit road. We'll see how long this pit stop is for him.
Oh, Fluffy beat him out.
He did.
How late do you stay out? Say if you're the 88 car and you think you can make it to the end of the race, how long? What's that threshold, that window right there that you know that you can make it or not, or is it too late to dive off and hit it?
If I'm Keffer right now, I'm staying out as long as I can and praying that late race caution comes out so everyone has to come down with him. I would stay out as long as possible.
And
But how long did that hurt you in the long run?
A bunch if it goes green.
Well, I know somebody that has time on that car, and I know that car right there can last pretty long. It doesn't get really, really loose coming off the corner as some others do. So he may be able to last for the end. I can't remember exactly how long he did.
I believe we're still, that we're talking in excess of 20 laps. I don't think the 88 car can make that.
I will say right now, Keffer has 11 laps of fuel left. He's going to have to at least pit unless a caution does come out. He's not going to save it. We have 20. No, we got 29 laps left. I mean, it wasn't. If it was close, I wouldn't have. But we know that he's not making it to the end.
But do you run those last 11 laps out?
Why not? You could trap more than half the field a lap down. But he's in.
The 88, there he is. I was going to say, because, look, if we're being honest here, after we cycle through these stops, I mean, we got quite a few cars still in a cluster. I see a 3-car battle right there, but we're a little more spread out than we have been the whole race. The chances for caution coming out at this point, not as good as they were at the end of the first and second stage, but at this point, I think Keffer's pitting in the window where he says, all right, my car feels really good with 30-some laps left, or with 20, would probably be about 28, 27 laps left here as he comes off. I don't know what he took there, but we'll see. He said he has a good long-run car, so let's see what he does.
And I like that strategy. I always like to set up a race car. There's my driver's side coming out, but I like to set up my race car to be on the offense at the end of a race. I don't like to be defensive. And right now he's on the offense. He'll have the newest tires throughout the entire field, so he'll be able to work his way and not worry about having to save tires. We got a battle up front, though. The 48 and the 17 car, Fluffy, are trying to make this battle between them and only them.
I will say Keffer came out of pit road 13th place, DWH in 11th, Celtics in 12th, J-Mons in 14th, and DC Racer in 15th. But he's going to be able to work through these guys. He's on fresher tires than everybody, so I think we'll see him in the top 10 here pretty quick.
Damage on the 3 car allowed that person to, or excuse me, damage on the 3 car allowed the 17 and the 48 car to try and get away and settle this amongst himself. But where is Slade? Let's see if we can find where he is. He had to fix that damage after running into the back end of the 3 car. And who's at fault with an incident like that?
Well, it just depends. I mean, most leagues have a universal signal that you're supposed to, go down to the bottom of the backstretch to signal that you're pitting if you're not in a party chat with them, and that never happened. But everyone was on different strategies here, so I mean, there had to someone should have done something to say, hey, signal, I'm pitting this time. Unfortunately, you can't, wave your hand or a finger out the window on this game. Hopefully that's something in E5, but that would be something nice to see. We'll see.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't intentional because it, messed up the race in 3, and also that 21 car has been playing with that top 5 all night, so it definitely wasn't on purpose. It definitely was an accident. Maybe the 3 didn't signal, or maybe he did and the 21 didn't pick up on it. But you'd like to see somebody give you a little bit more room than that, getting on the pit road. So it's kind of faulting both of them.
All right, let's see if we can travel back up front. Now the 48 car, we know he's had a fast car and he's had that long run speed, but what we haven't seen out of the 17 car, has he been able to run him down without making a mistake?
To be honest with you, I hadn't even been watching up front. I've been looking deep in the package. These guys are mixing it up.
How many laps to go are we getting to there, Key?
I believe next time by, we're going to be at 21 laps left.
On the 48 car, we already documented his, I believe, lone win so far this season at Watkins Glen. It's been a good record for the 48 car as far as racetracks in the Northeast. Winning in upstate New York. Now at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire, he could add another one as the 48 car increases that gap over the 17 car by just over a second. About 10 car lengths on the racetrack.
I tell you what, Kepper's coming up on about 5 cars here. He is in 10th. I think by the end of this race, he's going to be in the top 5. And he's just driving like through this field with ease, because the advantage was he pit late. He took 4, and here he goes.
And that's smart on his rock. You see the 12 car ride the wall in turn 2.
Car going back to pit road.
Setting up for yourself for the long run. What discipline do you have to not panic and, force yourself into a mistake and not beat yourself? As far as strategy there, he plays that to perfection. And right now, again, the newest tires on the racetrack, he's been able to run down some pretty fast cars. Right now, in his front windshield is the 19 car and the 21 of Slade.
Sloppy going down pit road. That puts him up another position, up to 8. He's got 3 more cars in front of him. And we know that he's got the fresher tires, so we'll see. And they're all right there, too, and they're going to be battling. He should be able to get around these guys, I imagine, with ease. Now, if the late race caution were to come out here within the next 10 laps or something, I believe it's going to be with these 4 cars, for the simple fact they're the only cluster of cars on the track right now.
Going to the back of the pack, some of these guys that have just had some dismal days. The 9 car, Justin Mons, unfortunately has been involved in a few incidences that have not been his fault, but when you travel in the back of the pack, trouble is bound to find you, and it has. You see front-end damage to the 9 car as well. Another driver that looked to show promise. Voltage! 1 car, and it is a single car incident. Does that trigger the yellow?
No caution yet.
On my screen, Alex, looks like 11 car about packed his lunch for him.
And those are 2 Joe Gibbs Racing machines. The 11 car Celtics fan, he just disappeared. Another DNF. No, he is now on the back stretch.
He's lagging.
And he is getting up to speed. No call from the tower, not even a manual caution. I don't think these guys would race it back to the line.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a caution. I think it's just too bad, too sad for that end. As the 11 car looks to be folded up right now.
And that was my next car that we were going to go to, as far as days that have just gone from bad to worse. Also a competitor that just hasn't showed any speed at all is BC Racer Kid. That's got to be sad on a day that he needs to gain some points.
DWH is another one. He's sitting in 8th place right now, all over the back of Smoke Z-Mog. He needs to get some points here tonight. But yeah, you mentioned it. BC Racer, Keffer, Voltage, them guys really needed to get some good points for tonight. And
have a good day.
It looks like
Voltage is now
Keffer might be
limping
the
around.
only one. Yeah,
Looks like he's about to come around the 21 car. Slade's putting up a little bit of fit for that. What is that, 5th position now?
That will be 5th place.
And that is a great strategy by the 88 car.
I want to mention something right here. When he come off pit road, he was about 3/4 of a track behind the leader. He's literally got him reeled back down to less than half a track. I mean, he has absolutely flown through this field. If he can get around Slade,
Slade's making him work for it.
He did. In fact, he actually dragged him down. Almost pinched him down in no man's land. Let's see if the 88 car uses the bumper to try and get around him right there. Some aggression out of the 22, some desperation, and you see the 88 car having none of it.
I don't know why the 21 would race like that. He still gets top 5. I mean, he hadn't had top 5 speed all night, so looks like he knows that the 88 car's got a lot more pressure tires and actually give him a little bit more racetrack. Be happy with what he got. But
I think he's going to let him go here. Oh, they make contact.
I don't know if he's going to let him go, but the 88 car was going.
No, 21 car's going to put the bumper to him again.
This is the great battle. Less than 20 to go. The 21 car to the inside. He just nudged him to the wall. And it's just allowed the 2 and the 1 to now play a factor.
We are coming to 10 laps to go.
Ooh, and that's not working out. In fact, the 21 car, he needs to minimize the bleeding right here. He tucks back in line behind the 88 car. Because at one point, the 1 and the 2 looked to be lined up, and they could have gotten around.
Now, is that smart being the 21 car racing that hard, knowing that the 88's got that much pressure tires and wearing out your equipment that bad over a position? I don't think so.
Well, and that goes back to saying how you're your own crew chief, you're your own crew, and you're your own driver right now. Does he know that the 88 car has fresher tires than him?
I mean, I'd hope so. I mean, when Slade come off pit road, I believe Keffer was the leader at that point. He was one of the last cars to pit before Keffer, and I think Keffer was in the lead at that point. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm sitting here watching the battle for the lead right now, and Fluffy hasn't lost any.
Oh, 21 car. Sideways. See that rough? See where it got it? That's why you don't do things like that. You got his tires hot, got a little loose coming off, wrecked himself. Hate that because he had a solid top 5 locked up. 20 laps to go.
Yep, and more damage as he gets up. In fact, he'll go a lap down.
But
so
he is locked in the points, right? Slade's locked in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's the only reason he would take a chance like that. He's already locked into the
Lucky that did not trigger a caution.
I'm surprised as well, but I had mentioned, again, last night that it seems like in the 3rd stages, cautions on this game seem like they don't come out as easily.
No, they don't. Which is probably pretty good as the 11 and 21 and 13 are near
2 cars
each
on
other.
pit road.
What happened to DWH?
He got caught up into that 21 spinning out, and it got into him pretty good. Actually,
Got front end damage.
Yeah, it messed up his race a little bit.
He was sitting there
inside the top 10.
Place.
Yeah, he was right outside the top 5 as well. Running in 7th position.
Some tense moments up front. The 48 car, less than 10 to go. In fact, how many laps to go that time by?
Before to go, I believe. Let me find the leader.
Oh, Fluffy really loose off the corner. He lost a ton of time to the 48 car. Now, exceptional breathing room. He was running down that 48. Max Booth trying to do something that hadn't been done out of the 48 camp since the introduction of stages, and that is win every stage of a race. 48 car hasn't visited victory lane in a point-paying position since 2017 at Dover. He did get the checkered flag in the class last year at Daytona, but already announced that this will be the farewell season for the 48 team.
Yeah,
And 3 laps to go. What better way than to go out on top and have your biggest fans give you that momentum?
But I hope he does get at least one more win to go out admirably. And winning is his tradition, as he's pretty much whooped the pants off everybody the last decade in NASCAR.
Well, him and the 24 dominated my entire lifetime, pretty much, so.
2 to go this time by for Max Boost, who continues to set a blazing pace in front of the rest of the field. A lot of competitors having issues as of late, and especially in this third stage that has not triggered the yellow flag. None of them have been able to compete with the speed and accuracy that the 48 car has shown all race long. He won stage 1. He did win stage 2. And now, facing the white flag this time by, it'll be 1 lap to go, sponsored by Ron Imports. The 48 car, nothing in his rearview mirror. A great sight to see.
The battles on the track is that 3 cars. The 88 is actually pulled up on his bumper as he's mired in behind that 19 car of
battle for third, heating up. We'll keep our focus, though, on the leader.
The 88 gets on the inside of him. He might get a run coming off that corner.
Through turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Max Boost, 27 sub. Another win to his name. Dominating at the Magic Mile.
Oh, the 88 of Keffer moves the 3 up the track a little bit. They're drag racing down. Let's see who's going to have it.
Looks like
the 3 car.
3 car did. We got that by riding on board with the 13. What a move for Workman. And it actually, it looks like Bear might have gone around, so that might have been a battle for 4th. The Granite State 301 is won by the 48 car.
Who don't you got?
Well, I got Fluffy. I think I got Bear. I don't know if I have Max. Yeah, it's race time, so everyone's showing offline.
You do got the Bear?
Yeah, I got Bear. I'm trying to see if I got Max. I know I had him.
I got him. I just suggest.
Gotcha.
We got Workman with the fastest lap of a 28.228. Hell of a lap.
He had a short run speed for sure.
You got DW with a 2.8. A couple people's left. He ran a 28.5. That's a pretty good lap too. BC Racer Kid with a 28.9. So he was almost 7/10 off the fastest lap. So yeah, he was hella off pace today.
Well, it's time to break out the broom because you swept all 3 stages to get your second win of the season on the 1-year anniversary of the Midnight Broadcasting Network. Congratulations there, Max Boost. How did you put this 48 car to victory lane today?
Dude, oh my gosh, man, what a race, dude. Holy hell, man, that was awesome, dude. This 48 car was incredible. I love this track. I won here last season, and I was so happy to come back here again. And I can't even believe this. Like, I was racing with the best. Fluffy, the Bear, Workman, those guys. Workman and I, man, we battled lap after lap. I hope you guys caught that, man, because that was some of the best damn racing you will see on Heat 4, man. That was incredible.
You look like you had ease compared to a lot of your competitors, including your teammates, who at one point all three were involved in one crash on the front stretch there. But were you ever worried, especially battling there with the 3-car? It looked like he had the short run speed, you had the long run speed. How did you just maintain your composure and drive your way to victory lane tonight?
Honestly, it has to go to my wheel. I mean, you can be so smooth on this thing and just baby the throttle and just save tires and just be consistent lap after lap after lap. So when it was Workman and I battling, man, I was listening to the RPMs, just focusing on that, man, and that was the trick. Just getting that rhythm, follow that rhythm through, man, and holy crap, we're here.
You know, we were talking about how this is Jimmie Johnson's final season in 2020. What do you believe will we see from that 48 car in the Cup Series coming up?
Hopefully he gets a good season. I wasn't always the biggest Jimmie Johnson fan, but you know what? He's a great guy, and he's a hell of a race car driver, and I'd love to see his incredible legacy and really high up on with wins and such. But I hope he does well, man, and I'm trying to carry this 48 banner for him. He's a good driver, man. I'm honored to be in that 48 for the season.
Always impressive at these unique tracks, as we have mentioned multiple times throughout the stream. Man, I tell you what, that we were talking about UNC Workman a lot because it seemed like, you know, he'd be up front. We were, you know, about to start putting money down on how many laps is it going to take for that 48 to catch that 3-car. But once you got there, he made you work for it, but it was good, clean racing for the lead, and every time that we seen it, and I tell you what, there was action all over the track, and you guys didn't see much of it behind you guys. Fluffy didn't see much of it. Bear had to work his way through the field a few times and, you know, get himself a podium tonight. But, hey, man, I tell you what, strong car, good finish, awesome job, man.
I thank you, man. I appreciate that. Workman really made me put in the, you know, hashtag Workman to get past him.
All right, that's Max Booth celebrating his second win of the season. Really good odds in the Northeast, winning both Watkins Glen and now in New Hampshire. Let's go to our second place driver, Fluffy, the pole setter tonight. Not second place in his efforts, though. You had a great car, but you just needed just a little bit more to get past the 48 car. Walk us through your night on the podium finish.
Man, well, I can tell you right now, man, Max has shown his, you know, driving all season, man. So hats off to him for, you know, the win tonight. Definitely a strong car, you know. But our efforts tonight, you know, was just to kind of make ground of what we lost last week and the week before. You know, the 17 car, you know, we had some issues stage one. You know, we led a couple of laps there in stage one and throughout the majority of the race. But just had some issues with the car later in the run. Got really loose and kind of had to strategize on trying to find the, you know, from it getting loose on the long run. So we had to kind of strategize trying to find something to get the car to hold throughout the run. So obviously not a faster car than Max, but you know, definitely there were a lot of cars tonight that had that it factor. You know, you had the 95, me, that 48, the 3. You know, there was plenty of guys out there. You know, Bear had to, you know, claw his way through the field and definitely get an outstanding podium tonight. But you know, there a lot of good cars tonight. Just happy to get a good points day. You know, like I said, rough 2 weeks here, but you know, this is definitely a big momentum getter for next week at Homestead. So I'm looking forward to that.
AJ, Will, you guys got anything for him?
Yeah, man, it's always fun watching you, Fluffy, man. You're always pretty much top 5, top 3 speed everywhere you go, and I consider you as one of the top guys in the game, and I got a lot of respect for you, man.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
All right, that was Fluffy there, a second-place finish, a great points day, and his bid to start fighting for a championship begins with a great day here at New Hampshire. go to our third place finish, Bear in the 95, last week's winner. But third place tonight in Bear, you weren't always up there in the top 3, but you were able to fight your way to a podium finish tonight. How did you get the 95 car to working well in your favor?
What a night. Seems like every time I start the last stage, I ended up putting myself in a hole, and I never can start from the front. I always have to come from the back. And tonight was no substitute for that, honestly. Restarted 16th on the last stage. After getting caught up in a crash with the 13, got loose in front of me off the corner and just spun it around, and we got a big old wreck and big old mess, and put me in the back, set me back after running. I was up in the top 4 or 5, to start with. I didn't have takeoff speed at all. It took me 8, 9, 10 laps for the car to really come in, and I was able to reel them guys back in front of me and pass back by them. I just never really got a chance to display that until we got to the third stage. But unfortunately, when I started to display it, I was coming from 16th. So we'll take it. Not what we wanted, but we'll take it. Congratulations to the 48. Drove his tail off tonight. He had that car up front. Didn't make any mistakes, and he did a great job. You can't. Hats off to the kid. He did a good job. So congratulations to Fluffy. He's always up there. Always got to deal with him some way or another. So yeah.
Were you surprised at the amount of contact that you saw in this race for New Hampshire?
Well, not really. Short track. You got people with different cars. I know me and the 17. It took us 9 to 15 laps, 10 to 15 laps to get going. The 48 to 3 seemed like they'd fire off, and the 15 would kind of fall back to us. The 3 would fall back to us earlier than the 48 would. By the time we get to where we were starting to reel them back in, a yellow would come out, and it would just kind of kill our strategy of the way we had the car set up. But a little chippiness out there tonight. A couple people ran out of talent tonight, but nothing we can't move on from.
All right, real quick, if C Workman is listening here, if you wanted an interview, you can come in there, dude. I just don't have you.
I got you. I'll get him an invite.
But
we're doing top 4 now.
He just wanted an interview, and I actually do want to talk to him about that battle between him and J.R.M. Keffer and the contact between him and the 21. But
he did have a strong car.
Not to take away from your third place finish. Congratulations there, Bear. And the points seem to be adding up in your favor heading into the playoffs.
They are. Unfortunately, we won't get a chance to add any to it, as I will be out of the country next week, so I'll be getting a sub driver for me. So y'all boys hold it down. When I get back, it'll be playoff time.
Hey, enjoy yourself, man.
Yep. See you guys.
All right, buddy.
All right, well, T, AJ, and Will, a lot happened here tonight that kind of was unexpected for New Hampshire.
It is, as C. Workman is loading into the screen. We had mentioned multiple times throughout the race, it was not the race we thought it was going to be. A lot of us have been in league races at New Hampshire, and they're usually caution-free. People get spread out. You don't see a whole lot of that. These guys, from fourth on back, a lot of them guys had equal cars to the point where there was never any separation. It was constant battling for position pretty much the entire night. Even after that green flag pit stop cycle, I was surprised that there was as much battling on the track as there was, but it made it entertaining for the 4 of us, and we got our 4th place finisher here, C. Workman, in the booth, and had hell of short run speed, and it would taper off a little bit, but when it came down to defending the lead, you made the 48 work for it. How'd your night go, man?
Well, first off, that was just amazing. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've battled for a lead for so long with one guy so cleanly, then stopped there. Like there had to be a combined total of about 10 to 12 laps tonight where we were just side by side, go around the track in total. So he's a hell of a racer. Happy that he got the win, but. Yeah, in practice, just trying to set the car up. Actually used a bit of that Phoenix setup and just made some twitches on it, and just kind of like Phoenix, like no matter how much it kind of felt like no matter what I did in practice, like adjustment-wise, like it would always kind of start to fall off there towards like the second half, 2/3 of the run. So just kind of focus on making that first half of the run the best it could be, and then just try to hold on for that second half. And thankfully, we had some cautions that came out in stage 1, stage 2 that kind of went our way, and then thankfully, when that last caution came out in stage 3, it was just 2 30-lap runs. Unfortunately, during pit cycles, had a car that came from lane 2 or lane 3 and just stopped right in front of us and gave us some front-end damage, and that cost us a bit. But so we had a great battle with Keffer there coming down to the end. So just having 3 weeks in a row of being up front, leading laps, being in contention for wins, especially with how terrible the month of December for me went, it really means a lot to be running up this high. So, but yeah, special thanks to Pocono Raceway for all they're doing for our series, and yeah, with 1 race left in the regular season, just focus on whatever playoff points we can get now that we're locked in, and yeah, should be a good one.
All right, well, great job there, Workman. I wanted to ask you real quick though. So was there a lap car in front of you? What was that contact between you and the 21?
Oh yeah, going on the pit road.
Oh yeah. Well, first I think at first like contact with me and the 21. I mean, I take full responsibility for that. I was just kind of entering. I was just trying to stay on the bottom lane there. Couldn't quite get below the yellow line just because how my brake bias was and everything. And then was kind of surprised, and I kind of forgot how far up the track that the pit entrance was. I thought it was more closer to the wall, but it extended all the way out. So I just braked hard trying to make the line to not speed, and then 21 ran behind me. So I take responsibility for that. But yeah, where I got my damage, it was just during the round of pit stops, and I don't want to say his name on air here, just because I don't think he'd be fair to say who it is, just when he doesn't have a chance to defend himself. But he was all the way up in lane 2, lane 3, and then just stopped right in front of us and just came straight down the track and gave us 94% aero damage. And so that kind of did it for us there. It made the car a little bit more stable there for that long run speed. So, but as far as that first half of the run, we were just off like almost half a second per lap, and that kind of threw away the chance at the top 3. But still, the rebound and hold on to 4th. I say that's pretty good.
All right. Well, congrats on the continued success and upward trend you're finding there, especially momentum heading your way for the playoffs. So we look forward to seeing you compete and contend for more wins in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for broadcasting. You all doing a hell of a job up here.
Hey, good job, buddy.
All right, guys. Well, we're about to wrap this up. Final thoughts, Will, T, and AJ?
Good race.
Both my picks finished in the top 3. I'm pretty happy.
Oh, don't hurt your arm. Pat yourself on the back.
Oh, here we go. I knew it was coming. Oh, no.
Damn sidekick.
No, I already mentioned it, man. That was a very unusual New Hampshire race, but it was an exciting one, and it was awesome. I was glad to, be here with you guys for it. So, hopefully, I can, myself, Will, AJ, Alex. Hopefully, maybe we can commentate a few more races here going into the playoffs.
All
Ready
right.
to go spank Will's bumper tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
Another exciting night, as it typically is here on Tuesday nights for MBN. I want to thank PRCS again for allowing us to bring you guys, the viewers at home, this wonderful coverage there. And congratulations to MBN for 1 year strong, going on to have content and continue to see great racing out on the racetrack on the PS4 side. Next week, I'll be honest, I have no idea, but it should be just as exciting.
Next week is Homestead.
It's Homestead, the last race before the playoffs begin. Your last chance to try and score enough points to get yourself a chance to win that all-important bragging right championship that we have come to love from MBN. We'll be right here bringing you that live coverage.
Or no. That might be ISM. It was last night, me and Slade were in the booth, and he said next week was Homestead and then corrected himself and said it was ISM. It's Homestead or ISM.
You know,
It's Homestead.
You ruined my speech, man. I had a great speech, and
I'm
I just
sorry,
told
go
you.
on.
I
Go
told
on,
you I
sorry.
didn't know.
You forgot to add that
told you I
AJ will be
didn't
freshly out
know.
of the playoffs next week.
The what?
By the time we speak next week, AJ will be out of the playoffs. So.
All right, Alex, take it away, man.
We have lost all control of the booth, so we are going to turn it away. We will see you guys again right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for allowing us to broadcast for you guys, and we'll see you again next week, Tuesday, beginning at 9:30 Eastern Time. See you guys.
See you.